Welcome back, everyone, to OpenLine. Happy to have with us Dr. Thomas Schwartz, Vanderbilt Political Science Professor. We're talking about several things, but really about politics. And tomorrow's going to be a major day. The Mueller Report will be released, a redacted version of a nearly 400-page report. We've only had 4 pages. A summary has only been released so far. Tomorrow we get the whole thing. CBS News will break into programming, so it's a big deal. So we're asking your thoughts on that. Will that change anyone's mind? And what do you think about it being released tomorrow? And then looking ahead, because that's fun to do, to the presidential election. We talked about the Democratic field is enormous. There is a lot of energy on the Democratic side hoping to beat incumbent President Trump. How tough is it to beat an incumbent president, just generally speaking, going through history?
It's not unheard of. It has happened in our history. The last time was, of course, George H.W. Bush. And then before that, Jimmy Carter. Those two cases, though, one of the things that's crucial is economic downturns and issues related to the economy, as well some foreign policy in the Carter case. But what that I think is one of the central variables that if the economy maintains its strength, it will be very difficult for a Democrat to win, or comparatively difficult, even with all of Trump's problems. The economy does seem to be one of the largest reasons why people vote.
Interesting. Okay, let's go to Martin. Hello, Martin. Martin, are you there?
Yes.
Hi, go right ahead. What do you think?
Am I on the air now?
Yes, you are. Yes.
All right. Well, what I'm thinking is it's not going to change my mind about the Mueller report. It's going to reflect back badly towards the Democrats as far as them trying to spy and all that. But here's the bottom line: even if Trump gets elected in 2020, that's only 4 more years. And the way the country's moving towards socialism, and the way the youth feels about America, and America first, rather, everybody wants to be globalized, and that's what the bottom line is. America is going to be globalized eventually, just like Europe, just like England and France, because that's what America, the new America, is coming to. It's evident. I mean, there's nobody but Donald Trump and me and a handful of other people that want America to go a certain way, but there's just too many millennials and too many people that have been instilled, generations have been instilled in the schools and in the colleges to really dislike America and all that it stands for.
And when you say globalized, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say globalized?
Globalized, just like Europe. They want. Remember, Europe used to have the mark and the franc and all the other monies, and now they have just a euro dollar, and that's what Europe wants America to be. They wants America to be globalized, just like Europe. Even when the politicians talk, they talk about what Europe's doing and what England is doing, and how good it is. They want globalization. That's what the new American socialist wants. And when I say the millennials, the people that want free stuff, the people that want all of the entitlements. It's sad, but again, Donald Trump only has, if he wins in 2020, 4 more years, and then after that, it's going to just keep chipping away at the Constitution, chipping away. All right. There's polls that say 40%, 50% of the youth today think the Constitution is irrelevant and is outdated and should be changed.
All right, well, let's talk about all that. I'm interested in what you're saying. What do you think about what you're hearing there?
Well, I understand some of that fear of change, that the idea that America is not the same because it has become much more diverse. It's become much more connected to the rest of the world. A lot of young people do embrace or think that it would be or they like the idea of government running that, or government health care, certain entitlements, college health care, these sorts of things. And that's not some of that. It makes health care is not a. I think the struggle I think we all face is how best to provide health care for the citizens of the country, and I'm not sure that's as much an issue. The European situation's a little different from what the caller was talking about. I mean, Europe had these awful wars caused by national difference. Germany had fought France. They had killed millions. I mean, we're in the 100th anniversary of World War I. We know it was slaughterhouse. So they did want to overcome some of the national differences and try to shape a more united continent. We see that that's not necessarily working out as they planned. Brexit, some of the revival of nationalism. So I think nationalism, I think the caller may be underestimating the pushback from national identity, which is still very strong. It's just the American national identity is going through some changes now. It's not as white, it's not as Protestant, it's not as ethnically homogeneous as it once was, and that identity is going to go through some transformations. It's gone through this in the past. Some of the same fears of what was happening to America were expressed during our big immigration period in the early 20th century. We've had this sort of concerns in the past. So I think we're adjusting. We are in a more connected world. Partly technology connects us. Many of us work in situations where we often are involved with foreign transactions. There's lots of travel is now so much cheaper and possible. So I think some of it is a feeling for a past that can't be recaptured. Some of it is a genuine fear of some of the types of changes that may come.
Interesting to hear from that caller. He said he supports Trump.
Right.
Even if Trump gets elected, he said, the big change is coming in 4 years.
Right.
And there's this sense that for some people, Trump is just kind of the last thing standing between this big change
yes, yeah.
that is coming.
Yeah.
And what if you look at the demographics and polling and young people and all of this, some of the things he was saying, how close to being right is what he's saying?
Well, there's a lot of assumptions built into that. Young people have political views, but those political views can change with experience. I know that my political views when I was 20 are not the same as they are now. And I do think millennials will face challenges, and that may happen. Those changes may happen. And the demographics, I think there is a type of fear. I don't want to label it racial or what, but just thinking that we can't assimilate people anymore, that these people who are different from us are not going to accept the same principles. And I think that's exaggerated. I think people underestimate the power of American culture to assimilate people from other countries and create a sort of a type of an American identity. Sometimes it's different from what may be in the past, but there's still something distinctive here. And I think some of the pessimism that people in the Trump, sometimes supporters of Trump have, is not really justified. But I'm more optimistic about sort of the future and the ability of the United States to both absorb and assimilate immigrants, as well as to maintain its distinctiveness, and hopefully it's all the good qualities that it has.
There are moments where it does seem like even Trump, it's like this is our last chance.
Right.
And I don't care if I'm destroying institutions, because this is, after this, everything changes.
Yes, après-midi, the deluge, yeah.
Some Republicans I do feel like think, this is our last chance, and so we're going to do everything we can. Yeah. And it's interesting to have it put into words like that last caller did.
Yeah. Well, there is this notion that demographics are always against the Republicans because they're an older, whiter, less, and they're declining. The opioid crisis, the idea that parts of the country that are solidly Republican are suffering decline, whereas the blue areas are surging. I think that's overstated, but that pessimism and that fear certainly was a part of Trump's message in 2016 and certainly helped him get out his voters.
Should I take another call, Taylor, or should we go to break? We should go to break. All right, Jewel, hold on the line. We'll get to your call. Take a break. Be back right after this.